The checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
The estimated real gross domestic product growth rate amounted to 7.5% for May 2025 compared to the previous year, and the average real GDP growth for January-May 2025 equaled 8.8% according to the preliminary data from the National Statistics Office of Georgia. In May 2025 compared to the same period of the previous year, the estimated real growth in following activities contributed significantly: information and communication, manufacturing, trade, transportation and storage, construction. Decline was registered in energy sector. Tbilisi City Hall has financed more than 100,000 surgeries and medical treatments in recent years as part of its broader healthcare and social support programs, according to Deputy Mayor Andrea Basilaya. Speaking at a presentation of recent initiatives, Basilaya highlighted key programs that have benefited thousands of residents. These include a 500 lari medication voucher used by over 70,000 socially vulnerable pensioners, as well as increased one-time financial aid for citizens turning 100 from 1,000 lari to 10,000 lari. The city has also co-financed home care service for nearly 7,800 beneficiaries, supported over 64,000 households with winter utility bills, and provided summer resort vouchers to 3,200 families with children with disabilities. In addition, vulnerable children received free access to sports, arts and educational programs across the capital. Tbilisi's municipal shelter continues to serve 240 homeless residents with essential services. The Parliament has passed amendments to the law on narcotic drugs, psychotropic substances and narcological assistance in the third reading with 82 votes. According to the amendments, only state-established institutions are designated as the authorized body for importing and wholesale distribution of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, as well as for implementing opioid substitution therapy. The law also added provisions stating that until October 1, 2025, the right to import narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances belongs to legal entities that submit to the State Regulation Agency for Medical and Pharmaceutical Activities appropriate documentation confirming the purchase of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances concluded before the publication date of this law. Georgian Dreams Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development Mariam Kvrivishvili met with Arsenio Dominguez, Secretary General of International Maritime Organization, during his official visit to Georgia. According to Ministry of Economy, the meeting focused on a broad range of topics concerning Georgia's cooperation with IMO, including the implementation of electronic services in Georgian ports, collaboration on joint projects, maritime education and seafarer employment. The maritime sector is a vital component of the Georgian economy, and its development is one of the top priorities, said Kvrivishvili. Georgia has enjoyed years of constructive collaboration with the IMO. We consistently meet our obligations under international maritime legal instruments and uphold the highest standards in maritime safety, seafarers' welfare, training, certification and environmental protection. Both sides underscored the strategic role of the maritime sector in realizing Georgia's transit potential, particularly through the advancement of Middle Corridor. The Georgian delegation expressed gratitude to Secretary General Dominguez for the IMO's long-standing technical support, which has significantly contributed to the sector's modernization and the adoption of international standards. To conclude the visit, Kvrivishvili extended an invitation to Dominguez to attend the Silk Road Forum set to take place in Tbilisi on October 22 and 23. Varketili metro station will be closed for 45 days beginning July 12. Mayor Kakakaladze announced at the City Hall meeting the closure is necessary to carry out complex rehabilitation works that are technologically impossible during the passenger traffic. According to Kaladze, the project developed by the ProBuild Expert LLC in cooperation with the foreign specialists includes extensive repairs to the station's reinforced concrete ceiling and escalator tunnel. The works follow recommendations by the Levan Samkharauli Expertise Bureau after additional structural issues were discovered during asbestos tile removal. Key rehabilitation tasks include cleaning and treating damaged ceiling surfaces, filling voids behind the concrete arc. Ceiling temperature seems to prevent groundwater leaks, preparing cast iron fastenings in the escalator tunnel. The full rehabilitation of Varketili station is expected to be completed by November-December 2025. The station has had a troubled history. Initial rehabilitation completed in 2017, but the ceiling collapsed in early 2018. On the sidelines of constituency meeting of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank Group held in Luxembourg, Kvrivishvili, Minister of Finance of Georgia, held a bilateral meeting with Gilles Roche, Minister of Finance of Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. During the meeting, the two sides reviewed the current state of cooperation in taxation and finance and reaffirmed their mutual commitment to future strengthening bilateral ties in these areas. Minister Kvrivishvili provided an overview of Georgia's macroeconomic trends and forecasts, highlighting key developments and country's commitment to continued economic stability and reform. A major outcome of the meeting was the signing of a protocol amending the agreement on the avoidance of double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes on income and capital. The amendment aims to align the existing agreement between Georgia and Luxembourg with the OECD's 2017 Model Tax Convention. This updated legal framework is extended to enhancing economic cooperation between the two countries, improve tax transparency, facilitate the exchange of information for tax purposes, and create a more favorable environment for cross-border investment and financial cooperation. Following a recommendation from the Sector Economy and Economic Policy Committee of the Parliament of Georgia, Georgian Competition and Consumer Agency has resumed its monitoring activities concerning the hazelnut and blueberry markets. The primary objective of this monitoring is to assess prevailing market conditions for the perspective of competition legislation, with particular emphasis on analyzing both market-driven and potential non-market factors affecting price formation. This initiative seeks to promote a more competitive market environment. Interim findings will be published periodically and made available to all relevant stakeholders. The monitoring reveals a substantial growth in blueberry exports from Georgia, with volumes increasing by 660% from 644 tons in 2020 to 4,969 tons in 2024. Correspondingly, the export value rose by 595% from 11.4 million lari in 2020 to 78.42 million lari in 2024. From 2020-2022, the export markets was classified as low concentrated. In 2023 and 2024, the concentration index slightly exceeded the threshold for a low concentrated markets, indicating a relatively competitive environment where no small group of companies dominate the market. By 2023, 51 companies were engaged in blueberry exports. Market dynamics are characterized by frequent change in the leading undertakings and the composition of the top 5 exporters annually. Additionally, the agency is actively monitoring and analyzing markets for pesticides and agrochemicals, fast-moving consumer goods, auto fuel, and tobacco.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.